Hello everyone! Today we're going to have a look at 10 phrases commonly used by native speakers that you can use in the speaking section of the IELTS test. First up, we have a big reader. This collocation describes someone who reads a lot.
You know, like he's a big reader.
For example, you might say, I've always been a big reader. Or, I'm a big reader, so I always carry a book with me. Reading helps me unwind and expand my knowledge, which is invaluable in everyday life. Moving on, get lost in something means to become deeply absorbed in an activity.
Get lost in it.
For instance, I often get lost in painting. It's a passion that allows me to express myself and forget about the stresses of the day. You might also say, whenever I start cooking a new recipe, I get lost in the process and time just flies by. The third collocation is rooted in. It means based on or originating from.
Our family is rooted in the church.
You could say, my love for history is rooted in my childhood experiences visiting museums, which sparked my curiosity about different cultures. Another example could be, my passion for music is rooted in my family traditions, where playing musical instruments was always encouraged. The fourth phrase is to opt for. It means to choose or select a particular option or course of action from alternatives.
I've decided to opt for sanity.
For example, if you say, I decided to opt for the vegetarian meal, it means you chose the vegetarian meal instead of other options. Let's look at some other examples. When choosing a vacation destination, I usually opt for locations that offer both relaxation and adventure. For my higher education, I opted for a university that provides a strong support system for international students. When it comes to fitness routines, many people opt for activities they find enjoyable to stay motivated. As I mentioned in my video on idioms, looking at one or two examples of a new idiom or phrase is not enough to be able to use it naturally on test day. It's really important to practice using that new phrase. In my one-on-one sessions, we'll learn one phrase or idiom at a time, and then answer different speaking questions using it. I suggest that you do the same. Learn a new phrase, then go through several speaking sections and try to use the phrase where it fits. If you can't answer the question with that phrase, you can skip it and move on to the next one. Phrase number 5 is no or little room for. It indicates no or not much possibility or opportunity for something.
Just no room for the little guy.
You might say, in my life, there is no room for rest. I'm often juggling multiple responsibilities and deadlines. Another way to use this phrase could be, during the busy holiday season, there is little room for relaxation, as the schedule is packed with events and errands. Make a big thing out of something is the 6th phrase on the list and means to exaggerate the importance of something.
No, make a big thing out of it.
For example, some people make a big thing out of minor setbacks, but I prefer to stay focused on the bigger picture. This shows how you handle minor issues compared to bigger ones. You might also say, once I had a challenging group project at the university where we faced a lot of disagreements. Some team members made a big thing out of every minor issue, which caused a lot of tension and slowed down our progress. Instead of letting these small problems escalate, I focused on finding practical solutions and encouraged everyone to prioritize the project's overall success. This approach helped us work more efficiently and ultimately complete the project on time. The 7th phrase is scare the life out of someone. It means to scare someone very much.
You scared the life out of me.
It's a vivid way to describe a frightening experience. One of the most memorable experiences of my childhood was going camping with my family. One night, a thunderstorm suddenly hit our campsite, and I remember how the loud thunderclaps and flashes of lightning scared the life out of me. You could also say, there was a movie that really scared the life out of me. It was a horror movie with lots of unexpected jump scares and creepy music. By the way, feel free to subscribe to our channel to get more useful information about the IELTS test, and click the bell icon to be notified when the next video comes out. The next phrase is to jump to conclusions. It means to make a decision too quickly without having all the facts.
Gosh, you jump to conclusions.
It's like guessing something without knowing the whole story. For example, don't jump to conclusions about why your friend is late. There might be a good reason you don't know about. Or, if you hear only part of a conversation and think it's about you, you're jumping to conclusions. You can also say, before accusing someone, make sure you have all the details. Otherwise, you might be jumping to conclusions. You can also use this phrase when describing people. For example, my friend always jumps to conclusions without first finding out what the problem is. The ninth phrase is a bit of a letdown. It means that something didn't live up to your expectations or was disappointing.
Well, that was a bit of a letdown.
You can use this collocation to describe situations where things are not what you hoped they would be. For example, I was excited to see the new movie, but it turned out to be a bit of a letdown. The plot was predictable and the acting wasn't as engaging as I'd hoped. You could also say, the restaurant we tried last weekend was a bit of a letdown. The food was average and didn't live up to the rave reviews we'd read. It's always a gamble when it comes to. You can also shorten it and say, it's a gamble, or it's always a gamble. A gamble means taking a risk where you can either win something good or lose something valuable. It's always a gamble when it comes to means that the outcome is uncertain and can be risky. Often because you cannot predict how things will turn out.
It's a gamble. I get it.
I suggest that you use this phrase to express the unpredictability of a situation. You might say, making last-minute travel plans can be exciting, but it's always a gamble when it comes to finding good deals and availability. This brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching! Now you know 10 useful phrases that you can use in the speaking section of the IELTS test. Don't forget to practice using them in your speech as much as possible. And remember that you only want to use these phrases when they sound natural. Simply adding them to your answers when they're not relevant won't raise your score, but will lower it. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips and tricks. And as always, remember that scoring high on the IELTS test is not an impossible feat. You can do it. See you all very soon. Bye-bye.